This episode of The Secrets Women Keep is brought to you by my luxuriously bespoke, discreet, and personal one-to-one container, The Turned On Woman. The Turned On Woman is the way for you as a leader and woman in authority to unleash your true woman on top that's satisfied, successful, and totally turned on in her power. Experience, embody, elevate. Welcome to the Secrets Women Keep podcast. I am your secret keeper and confidant, Lauren White. I'm a qualified counsellor and sexologist, facilitator of all things turn on, author of Permission, and a witty, highly intuitive lounge room dancing introvert. I help you as an exceptional woman in entrepreneurship to see, love, and trust all the parts of yourself, especially the unseen. Let's pull back the curtain, light the candelabra, and lift the veil. These are the secrets women keep. Hello, and welcome to the Secrets Women Keep. I am your host and confidant, and today we are delving into the green-eyed monster. Yes, I am a green-eyed woman, and we are going there to talk about not my green eyes, but when your eyes go green, no matter what color they are, you get green-eyed because you feel the sting of jealousy. Oof. We've all experienced jealousy. We have all been there. And today my intention is to totally disrupt, shake up, have you dust off jealousy when you feel it and turn it into something that can fuel you, something that's going to generate and contribute to you having a turned on life. That's the point. Let's talk about what jealousy is. Jealousy, to me, feels a little bit deeper and stronger than envy, though your experience might be different, and that is completely understandable if it is. You know, like jealousy kind of, when I've experienced, like it takes up my whole body. It's though there's this, like they call it the green-eyed monster, and I think monster is a good word. It's as though there's a monster inhabiting my body and causing this unpleasant, uncomfortable contraction, like it's sucking the life force out of me, because all my attention and awareness it's split up between being on the person that I'm jealous of, like all that attention and awareness is going to them, and the second split part of that attention and awareness is on how shit I am, how much I don't have, what I lack, what I haven't done enough of, how am I not at that point yet, a similar point, the same point, whatever it is that my mind is throwing up for me to get angry about, frustrated about, and to chew on. It's like jealousy can feel like such a taunting feeling state, because it makes you mull on it. It makes you chew on it for a while. Like you think this is unpleasant, just getting that initial whack. Try chewing on it for another hour and see how far I can go. It's almost like it dares you to go to those deep, deep places. Jealousy is the initial emotion, but what's under it is deep and rich and is some really potent data for you to comb over. This is your responsibility. When you feel jealous, you need to become fully responsible for that feeling. It is too easy to stay quiet, grit your teeth, and then spew out anger at someone else or a situation that has nothing to do with the originating factor. When you feel jealous, you're creating a story about it. And believe me, I'm not saying this is only you that's experiencing this. Like, I am speaking from experience. When I say you, I mean I as well. I have created, when I feel jealous, have felt jealous, I create a story. Now, the older I get, the more mature I become, the more I own who I am, the more I focus on my own lane, the more I love on myself, the more indulgent I am, the more turned on I am, the less jealous I get. It's like you see, those graphs where you see one thing go down and they converge in the middle and the other thing's going up. It looks like that. So now self-love, self-reverence, total turn on is like vibrating high on the graph, and jealousy is very, very, very low. I won't say, I'd be bullshitting you if I said, I never get jealous. Anyone who says that, by the way, is lying. They are lying. They are lying. Do not listen to them. Of course, I do get jealous. The way that it takes up space in my body and my psyche, though, is very different than what used to happen in the past when I felt powerless and worthless, and I allowed myself to indulge, in the most negative sense of the word, indulge in the self-pity party. So now what happens, right? I see a woman who is either doing the thing or being the thing that I desire. The first thing that I haven't either possessed or embodied yet, right? Really listen to my words. They have the thing, or they're doing the thing, or they're being the thing that I haven't yet possessed or embodied yet. Jealousy will tell you a story. You're shit. It's never going to happen. They've got it all because there's some weird universal law that they get it all and you get left with nothing, and what's the point? You may as well give up, blah, blah, blah. It goes down a real rabbit hole, right? And I've talked about shame spirals on the podcast, and dark nights of the soul. So if you need to revisit some of that after this episode, go and listen to that and get support specifically on shame spirals, dark nights of the soul. It will tell you those stories, but the wording that I use with myself is it's kind of neutral and supportive and realistic, and trying to, the intention is to take on a perspective that helps me get myself back on track for where I am, and to help me see, oh, fuck, they're doing this thing and I didn't even realize yet that, fuck, that's what I want to be doing. That's where I want to be. That's the kind of lifestyle I would like. Ooh, that's how I want to feel in my body. The jealousy is really a feeling state that comes up when you are shown what you desire, and oftentimes, but not always, oftentimes they're desires that you've not allowed yourself to be in ownership of. You literally haven't declared them. You haven't written them down. You haven't spoken them. You haven't even allowed yourself to sit there and daydream and wonder what it would be like if those desires could actually meet you and be your life. So the difference between you and the woman that you're jealous of, not always, no absolutes, but they've spoken their desires. They've been accountable for their desires. They've built up and flexed the muscle on their desires bit by bit by bit by bit. And now you're seeing the old highlight reel after X amount of time of them flexing that muscle and doing the behind the scenes work that's required to be the thing, do the thing, have the thing. And if you are following, watching, observing people whose values don't align with you, who are a synthetic version of what you desire, and you think that you should desire what they have and you're getting jealous, that is 101% on you. You need to change who you follow, who you listen to, who you observe, who you hang around with. If they are not your true desires and you're still getting jealous, then that is really, really, really on you, and that needs to be course corrected. For me, jealousy, I don't just get jealous of people with prestige or status or quote unquote success, because success, in my opinion, is a very personal barometer. a very personal measurement. And I believe it really does start with internal success. That's for another time. So many threads I could follow. But if I see someone who's vapid and empty and they've got maybe the shit hot car that I think would be amazing to have, then I don't get jealous because I go, well, it's not the whole picture for me. I don't care what they've got. I don't care what possession they have. Their values are not aligned with mine, so I'm not jealous. When I do get jealous, it's because I've gone into some comparison mode of putting myself side by side with a woman, and every woman's had a different life and upbringing and story to mine and experience of life, but my mind has instantly pitted me next to her, or as jealousy will do, against her for comparison, and gone, there, you're here, why don't you, blah, blah, blah. It's very self-berating. Why aren't you there? Why don't you have that thing? Why aren't you at that level? Why aren't you at that level? Doesn't even say yet. It's just very berating. So that's a different issue to explore. And what I try to do in those moments, and God, I hope this helps you. In fact, I know it will. And help's not even the word I want to use. I know that this will stir something up in you. If you can catch yourself in the moment of jealousy, I just say to myself, thank you for showing me another way. And it's really hard to say that sometimes, but I mean it. Thank you. Thank you. You're showing me another way. Thank you. You've shed light on a desire I was denying myself, and I was waiting for the fucking permission. Thank you for showing me that even though I'm here and you're there, that does not mean you're any better than me, but what it does mean is that you've tapped into an energy and or a strategy that I haven't allowed myself to fully immerse in. That's why I find it funny when people get, like, when you start doing this and reconditioning your mind to say, thank you for showing me, thank you for shedding light, thank you for letting me know it was possible. Like, you really get all the power back because you get to ask yourself, I'm jealous of her X amount of podcast episodes. Have you made a podcast? Have you even done one? Like, really think about what you're comparing yourself to. Are you comparing yourself to numbers? Are you comparing yourself to like someone who's famous and a celebrity and acting and you wish you had what they had, but you're not even interested in acting, it's not even your life's calling? Like, really watch what you're getting jealous of. It's a cause for examination. And more importantly, personal examination. It is not about the person that you're jealous of. It is not about them. You think it is, and your mind will try and convince you that it is, but it's not. It is about you. It is always about you, and it always has been about you. So use jealousy as an opportunity to flip the mirror onto yourself and say, what am I making this mean about me? Am I willing to whatever I'm making this mean about me? Am I willing to just follow that story down a deep, dark hole where I really disconnect from my turn on and my essence? Or am I going to use it as fuel to create, to generate, to move the needle? The author of The Artist's Way, I want to say Julia Cameron, and I'm deeply apologetic if I have her name wrong. I'm quite sure it's Julia Cameron, says jealousy is a mask. And it is. She goes on to say that jealousy is a mask for the artist and the creative that has denied themselves the ability to create and be artistic. Only artists that, and we're all artists and creatives in some way, shape or form, it's just expressed differently. So that book is applicable to everyone. It's a classic. But only artists that have denied themselves really, really get jealous and follow jealousy. I have been worked so hard the last couple of years on really, making sure I'm in a sphere of influence with people I love, respect, and admire, and who they don't have to hold the same values, but most of them hold freedom as a value. That's usually the core one, and they're quite expressive. So I'm very selective and discerning about who I follow, for starters. And second of all, when I feel the feeling of jealousy rise up, it's very short-lived, because I do what I just spoke into a few minutes ago. I take that approach and I do it step by step. And I pause and I collect myself and I think about all that I've done and all that I have and all that I'm able to embody, and the fact that, I'm so in love with life. And I just go, do I actually want that thing? Do I want to be that thing? Is that a genuine desire I hold? And if it is, fucking go follow it for yourself in your own way. Or employ the help of someone that can get you there in your own way and your own version of that. Don't do a carbon copy of what you think someone else has done. You will be so disconnected and so disembodied in that it won't work. I guarantee if you just go, I'm just going to do the same strategy as them, but you don't have the energy, it will flop. And you'll wind up even more frustrated and even more jealous. Do not do that. Employ help or choose your own energy and strategy to claim what it is that you desire, what you genuinely desire, not just this surface level envy of a famous person that has a $300 million fortune, but you've done nothing that they have to acquire that. You can't compare. But if you are in a position where you feel like, that's a fair comparison of my journey, even so, not a good excuse. Still feel jealous? All right, feel it and say thank you to her in your mind. Thank you for showing me another way. Maybe you even want to hire her. Maybe you want to ask her how she went about things for herself. You have to pay her to ask her that usually, by the way. Can't just be a pick my brain session. So the last thing I want to say is, please stop saying this triggers me. Please stop saying that if you feel jealous. Just call it jealousy. Just say I'm jealous. Please stop saying I'm triggered by that person. There are few instances where being triggered is a actual genuine response. Being triggered means you have an extremely heightened stress response from an incident, usually in your formative years, but not always, somewhere up until 25. You have experienced a trauma, and being a witness to something online or in person is reigniting the memories and the felt sense experience of that trauma. Does getting jealous of someone really trigger you? This is really one of my bugbears out there, because it's not an accurate description of what's happening. It's a cover-up. So if you are plain old green-eyed of someone, call it, name it what it is, and take the power back. Stop saying you're triggered. You can only say that you're triggered if there's a trauma in your past where you get flashbacks, where you get repeat somatic experiences of that trauma based on seeing something, hearing something, feeling something, experiencing something. So being triggered is not the right word. Own it. You're jealous. I'm fucking jealous. And look, you can say it like that. I'm so fucking jealous right now. Say that you're jealous. Just say it. I'm so fucking jealous. Get playful with it. Like, really take the power away from it and ungel yourself from jealousy. Yes, you will feel jealous again, but the charge doesn't have to stick around and stifle your creativity and your pleasure and your joy and your individuality It doesn't have to. It can be a fleeting sensation if you handle it appropriately in the moment. You have the power to do this. Every time you let jealousy, you let yourself chew on it and go down your spirals and stay stuck and not create and not get out there and show yourself that you've got the gumption. P.S. One of my top 10 words, gumption. And it's a great cleaning product as well, just as a side note. Show yourself you've got the gumption and go do the thing if that's what you actually desire. Or shrug your shoulders, get real with yourself and go, I'm just jealous of the money side of it. I'm just jealous of the award. You can't get jealous of hard work if you're not fucking doing it. You can't get jealous of persistence if you're not persistent in your own life. You cannot get jealous of a highlight reel when you know that there is 10 years behind it. 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, whatever. There is time behind it. There is effort. There are mistakes, which I just think are learning experiences, really. There's fuck-ups, there's shame, there's whatever. You have no right to be jealous of that if you haven't gone out there, conquered your fear, met your edges, and done things differently. So this is a sermon for you to draw a line in the sand, to really examine jealousy, and when you feel it, approaching it very differently from how you always have. It's safe to feel jealous. It's a natural human emotion. Deciding to stew in it and stay in it and use it as a second, third-rate excuse of holding you back from what you want and putting the effort in is a choice. And it's a very turned-off choice. When you, if you are listening to this, you have so much more inside of yourself. So go out there and show yourself. Feel free to break into Frozen 2. Up to you. But show yourself. Don't do it for praise. Don't do it for an applause. Don't do it for some, stale awards night that no one's going to remember in 10 years anyway. Don't do it for those reasons. Don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the Instagram following. Do it because it turns you on. Because you can't think about anything else. Because this is your passion. This is your calling. This is your mission. That's why you do it. And thank that other woman for showing you that it can be done, and do it in your own way. No more green-eyed monster. All eyes on you. If you are a leader, a public figure, or an authority that feels like she should have worked all of this out already, but hasn't, and you require a safe and discreet container to refine how you show up as the woman who oozes subtle sovereign action, the woman who has an unrelenting magnetic pull, and the woman who has an air of eros that feels completely at ease every single moment of your existence, consider this a call to become the turned-on woman. Get ready to step into my magical world and be fortified to facilitate your own personal revolution. A revolution to curate a life that feels as successful on the inside as it appears on the outside. As a qualified counselor and sexologist, I've delved deep into the echelons of womanly allure and mystery so that you don't have to. In having seen myself, I see you, all of you, and some women can't handle that. I know you can handle it. The truth is, you're here because you want someone who goes above and beyond the mesosphere, someone who can hold an expanded vision, someone just like you. The only difference between you and I right now is that I've gone through the painstaking process of removing the metaphorical mask that held me back from being fully expressed, integrated, and completely in flow. I want to show you what's possible. And the secret is It doesn't have to be hard, long, or arduous to become all those things. It also doesn't, and won't, happen sitting on hard yoga floors, denying yourself the luxury of what feels elevated, lush, and opulent for you. Your desires are never denied, and your version of luxury is always seamlessly weaved into every part of the process. Your total turn-on is the centerpiece of everything we do. To be considered as an applicant of the Turned On Woman, apply now through the link in the show notes, or to skip the queue, DM me on Instagram to start the best conversation you've never had.